Auslan incorporates the use of space. It's not simply a matter of placing individuals or objects in various locations. There are rules and different types of space that are used. So if I'm talking to another person, I'm able to use those categories of space and they'll know what I'm talking about. Native users of Auslan are aware of the different types of use of space. There are different categories for how space is used. Very shortly I'll show you a diagram so that you'll be able to understand the terms that are used when describing space. All of the examples and the explanations that I'll use in my presentation come from this textbook. As you can see from the diagram, there are a variety of categories. The first one is referred to as real space, and this means that the object is present, it's able to be seen. Let's say, for example, I'm talking about this mug that I have here in front of me. If I'm talking to another person about the mug and I want to refer to it, I can point to it, we both can look at it because it actually exists in space. If I later move the mug to another location, like this, we wouldn't look in the original location, we change our eye gaze to the new location because we're actually physically able to see the mug. That's what's referred to as real space. The second category in the diagram is referred to as topographic space. This means that the object isn't present. So objects are placed in space. They're not placed in arbitrary locations, but they're placed in space in the description in relation to the position they occupy in real space. One form of topographic is diagrammatic space, and the second is viewer space. I'll explain what both of those mean shortly. In regard to diagrammatic use of space, people are able to be described in terms of how they move, objects are located in space, based upon their real existence in real life and their location to each other, but in a smaller space. For example, in theatrical performances, if you're talking about actors moving around the stage and where the scenery is located, I would use diagrammatic space to describe that to someone. Or if I was describing the layout of my home, of course your home is quite a large thing, you can't represent that in real space. Diagrammatic space is used to describe that in a smaller way. So an individual can describe going through the front door, into the lounge room, bedrooms that are off to one side, kitchens off to the other side, for example. Diagrammatic space uses 2D. For example, Australia is a very large continent, so we'd need to reduce the size of that in diagrammatic space to show someone flying around the country of different cities around Australia. This is what's referred to as diagrammatic space. The second type of topographic space is referred to as viewer space. It means that it's represented to the viewer in full size, for example, an individual walking around and taking in the scenery. A person signing could say, for example, I've been to visit a bookshop, and they indicate they reach up onto a shelf, take down a volume, open the book and then leaf through the book, close it again and return it to the shelf. The bookshelf isn't, of course, really there, but it enables the viewer to watch the story being told and to conceptualise what it looks like. If I'm showing someone how to use a computer, for example, I press the on button, I navigate using the mouse, the screen opens up, and someone watching me tell that story can visualise what it is I'm talking about. What I've just told you is referred to as viewer space. The third category on the diagram is abstract space, which means people are placed in arbitrary locations if there needs to be constant reference back to those particular things. Let's say, for example, if I'm talking about the government, I might locate the Labor Party on my left-hand side. I might locate the Liberal Party on my right-hand side. It doesn't mean that they're separated that way in real space, but I locate them in space to make subsequent reference to those parties much more simple and straightforward, rather than needing to fingerspell the names of those particular political parties. If I'm telling a story about a teacher meeting with a student to have a discussion, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's the way the teacher and the student stand in relation to each other. The student could be sitting, for example, the teacher might be standing, but it's easy just to locate those people in space for future reference. This is what's referred to as abstract space. I've now finished describing to you all of these various uses of space. People who are native users of Auslan use all these various types of the use of space. Now you'll be able to observe people using signing and perhaps work out examples of these different types of space. Or you might be able to talk to them about what they mean.